Teddy Bridgewater situation is really interesting. Now there's different numbers coming out. The amount of money that he spent on his players, rehabilitation, Uber, food. That is the narrative that is from the Teddy Bridgewater cars and all this stuff. It's like, I don't know if that's against the rules. I don't fully comprehend why this would happen. It just feels
pride sets to training camp. I cover all the expenses. Teddy Bridgewater is being suspended for giving back to his high school alma mater and winning them a state championship in the state of Florida. But there's a lie. Pat McAfee has talked about it. One of my favorite podcasts talked about it. The whole world. All these NFL players have come out and talked about how bad the suspension is, but there's a part that they're missing. So let's get into it. I personally love Teddy Bridgewater. I grew up watching him. If you didn't know, Teddy Bridgewater, coming from Northwest Miami, was the reason, him being a Florida guy and a legend in Florida, doing the big things that he did, and then going to Louisville is actually the reason why South Florida legend Lamar Jackson went to Louisville. So there's a lot of lineage with Teddy Two Gloves. There's a lot of great moments. There's a lot of my childhood with Teddy Two Gloves. So when I saw him go back to his high school and give back like he's been doing, but this time at the head coach arena, and go ahead and win a state championship, I thought we were just going to get positives out of that. I was like, I can't wait to make a video on Teddy Bridgewater when he wins his third state championship, and I'll tell you about Teddy Bridgewater's powerhouse down there in Florida. But it seems like we haven't gotten there yet. So let's hear what Pat McAfee has to say, because he's not happy about it. And another one of my pods, and then we're going to go deeper into the actual truth, because they're missing a part of it. But we're going to get right into it, man. Let's hear from Pat.
Teddy Bridgewater situation is really interesting. Now there's different numbers coming out. The amount of money that he spent on his players, rehabilitation, Uber, food. That is the narrative that is from the Teddy Bridgewater camp, because he's been suspended for a year from a league, I guess, that he no longer coaches. His statement's like, I can't be suspended for something I'm not coaching, because he's now back with the Lions or whatever. He won state championship as a high school state coach. Dominant. I assume we all think that the suspension looming was the reason why he left and went to the Detroit Lions maybe, or who knows what was going to happen. Nonetheless, interesting thing to do to a coach in the modern world that we're in, especially with the way the NIL is. I assume the other people are saying he wasn't paying for our Ubers, he was buying cars and all this stuff. It's like, I don't know if that's against the rules. I don't fully comprehend why this would happen. It just feels like one of those NCAA things back in the day. Not now, NCAA. You guys have changed, and you guys care about things that matter, and you guys invest resources in things that are going to make the lives of student human athletes better. But back in the day, the NCAA just used to investigate the most dumb things. From what I've read about this situation, this feels very stupid, and this feels like they were trying to get Teddy Bridgewater the hell out of the league. Teddy B, we appreciate you looking out for your players, man.
Hey, and it's funny because they weren't the only people to feel that way, but I'm happy that Pat actually talked about it. So the truth is, a lot of people have been running with the fact that he's suspended, but as you can see from his official words down here, and we're going to get to one more video, but I just want to make sure, clarify what he means. So here's Teddy Bridgewater, and you know, there's the announcement of him basically saying, hey, I spent this money, I Ubered, I got food. If you've ever played high school sports, you know that there's typically either a fundraiser, you got to sell tickets or something like that, or maybe there's a due you have to get paid. Teddy Bridgewater, in the area that he was, I hope I'll probably have it playing on some of these videos, like videos of their practice and stuff. You should see where they're practicing. Dog, as a state champions, they're just practicing out in the field. Like, they don't have all the resources there, and they're winning Florida state champions. So the fact that y'all are trying to come down on somebody like this is clearly because they don't think that those people, right? They don't think that the people from Teddy Bridgewater, where they don't have as much stuff, they don't think they deserve to be winning state championships. So this is what Teddy Bridgewater came out and said, right? He says, dang, people done caused all this confusion. So this is the from the word of the donkey's mouth right here. Got a phone call tonight, and it's no real investigation going on. I told you, I have to be an employee to be investigated. Now the paperwork thing still stands, but there was no investigation. They self-reported. So he's saying that they self-reported these things. Vernay and his administrative homeboys want me gone, apparently. So he is openly saying, hey, there are people within this legislature or this panel who want me gone after winning a state championship, which is crazy, and tried to hire one of my dogs. Like, bro wasn't gonna lace me up. The suspension came from NMW. So this is Miami Northwestern, and it's possible to suspend someone who doesn't work for you. So if I'm suspended from Miami Northwestern, I'm free to go to another school of my choice, but I'm not going anywhere. And if it comes down to it, I will volunteer from the bleachers like I used to in 2018 and 2019 when no one had a problem. And he said this is his last post about that BS. And these were some of the estimates here. Teddy Bridgewater paid out of his pocket. Training camp was $14,000. Pride sets, which is $9,500. Pre-game meals was $2,200 a week. Recovery for $1,300 a week. Ubers for $700 a week. Field paint for $300 a week. Now, Teddy Bridgewater is an ex-NFL player, right? He got a few contracts, and even if there were some backup contracts here and there, it's a lot of money, dog. A lot of money. Here are those numbers there. You got Jordan Schultz out here. So let me get this straight. Teddy Bridgewater, a volunteer, not even a school employee, is being suspended for helping kids. Here he is. You could there you go. Yeah, perfect. You can see some of the videos of the things, and we're gonna actually watch this video because I think he's actually talking about going to go support some of the guys on the outside. But you can see these guys, like, this is just an open field, dog. And I'm not saying, well, first off, I don't want to like talk down on these kids, but it's just an open field, blah blah blah. I'm just saying comparative. Like I know y'all seen Buford High School. I know y'all seen some of these Texas high schools. I know y'all seen IMG. So there's some top school IMG, top schools in Florida, right? Even Centennial, I think, is also top as well. And they, get all their, they have a lot nicer things. So to think that they won it in that same state where a lot of elite players, right? Where Jeremiah Smith came from, right? Where Teddy Bridgewater, Lamar Jackson, all these other players came from, and they're doing it probably the way that it looked like in the 2000s, probably the way it looked like in the 90s, right? This grittier form of football, and they're finding a way to get it done. And then Louis Riddick, who's been pretty outspoken, has this to say: this Teddy Bridgewater suspension for doing right by his football players and propping up the program with his own money is simply embarrassing. What the F are we even doing here? When I read everything he was providing for the young men, I'm thinking, is he going to get some kind of, and let me, because they don't have the full thing. I don't know what that is, the full thing. I'm thinking, is he going to get some kind of reward, recognition? Come on, man. This is just done. We didn't miss that much. Anyway, so let's hear what we're about to do is we're going to hear one more video just kind of surrounding it. This is one of my other favorite pods. This is McCready and Siskey. And then I'm going to read you the details of the state championship. Again, like not too far ago. This is why this is so crazy to me. And I think Louis Riddick feels the same way. I was just confused because like at what point did it go from winning state championships with your alma mater, something amazing, first time being a full-time head coach XYZ, to this and suspended? It just seemed like a lot of whiplash, and this is what they had to say about it.
Teddy Bridgewater was suspended by Miami Northwestern. He was the football coach at Miami Northwestern. Mm-hmm. Not getting paid anything. He's doing it for the love of the school. And he was suspended. For violating Florida High School Athletic Association rules because he paid for his players out of his own pocket. He paid for their food, the recovery. It was like $14,000 during camp last year. Okay. And Uber rides and things like that, taking care of his money that nobody else is paying and paid for the players. I'm really sour on this ruling. Shame on the Florida High School Athletic Association. Shame on anybody that brought this to attention. And my point I was trying to make the other day when it came to my attention on live, if he was 5-5 last year or whatever, how many games they played in the regular season and didn't win the championship, nobody would have said a damn thing. Somebody said something because they were winning.
Yeah. That's the point.
That's bullshit.
That's the big one.
Of course.
Number two is he's not taking any state funds.
No, it's his money.
There's zero federal dollars that's going to do this.
And he's helping kids.
And, probably the people that suspended him or had this uppity thing to where they felt like they needed to take action, they've never been down there. Go to Belgrade, Florida, and you see how people are living. Like it would blow your mind. You go to Belgrade, Florida, it's a third world country, and that is not a joke. You drive for 30 miles down a 2-lane road with nothing but sugarcane on both sides. All of a sudden, you see smoke coming out from the distance off the horizon, and that's the sugarcane fields. And you go recruit a kid that mom's in jail, dad doesn't know his dad, he's living with a 77-year-old grandmother, and you're like, how do you make it live? Oh, I go catch rabbits. There's a whole ESPN episode about them killing rabbits coming out of the muck. All right, they sell those rabbits, they kill them and sell them for food for $3 a rabbit. That's what people are doing. Craziest thing I ever did. I went to a home visit to go see a kid, 77-year-old grandmother. That's where he was staying with, in a condemned house.
Jeez.
Had a hanging light, a hot plate, and a recliner. She sat, and I don't know where she got the recliner. She had a recliner and a folding chair.
Where she got the recliner.
That was in the house. No refrigerator. They were running power from a old hotel next door. Running power cords extension cords through a window to generate power in their house. And the grandmother start smoking weed in front of me.
Okay, well,
77 years old, just lights one up.
Yeah.
I mean, we're going to suspend this guy for trying to help take care of him. That's such a chicken shit move.
Whoa. But I agree. McCree and Siski do great. I forgot. His name is Tyler. But I'm not sure which one's McCree, which one's Siski. But he's a former Ole Miss and Alabama, I believe, recruiting coach and a coach in general as well. So he's done a lot of positive things. And he's got a lot of experience and a lot of firsthand experience in the world of college football. So I really trust his word when he says certain things and kind of gives his perspective on it. And I'm not sure if you can tell, but he seems to be a little bit of a good old boy, right? You know, a little Southern, and there's nothing wrong with that. So the fact that he it can even clearly see, yo, like this is not right. Like this is not something where it's like, oh, you know, he's not even going to try to pretend to you. He is doing something positive, and everybody from all walks of life can do that. So make sure y'all go check out McCree and Siski. I love his stories too about different stuff. But breakdown here before I get into, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna we're gonna read the actual article of them winning the state championship. But just remember, this is what quote unquote got him violated, right? So good morning to all my Bulls and Bull supporters. This is from Teddy Bridgewater. He says, today I'm coming to you on behalf of the football team and seeking donations, just donations to assist our boys this season and to help me carry the load so I no longer have to take from my personal funds to keep smiles on these young men's face and remind them that they matter. From daily Uber rides to feeding the boys MLK every morning following our morning training sessions, to feeding the boys catered pasta during the season, to pride sets, to training camp. I cover all the expenses. So today I'm putting together my fundraising packages for individuals looking to donate to the program. You will be able to donate to my foundation personally, and funds will be used throughout the season as we get ready to crank up. The most recent event we had coming up is our training camp, where we sleep in the school's basketball gym. Last year, it cost me $14,000 to conduct the camp, 4 nights, 3 hot meals, a day from local black-owned restaurant, and a snack on some of those days. Last year, it cost me $9,500 to purchase the pride sets for the players so they can look like a team. Also, last year, it cost me $300 a week to keep the field painted with lines and numbers so our players can know how to line up and execute. Last year, it also cost me $1,300 a week to have recovery trucks come service the players the day before games. During the season, each week, it cost me $2,200 to feed, and each week, I spent about $700 on Uber fare. So this is somebody who's not, and this is where I think it's so important that he points out, look, this wouldn't be a problem if they were winning or if they weren't winning, because like I alluded to at the beginning of this video, and I'm sure you know if you've played football, watched football, this is normal. It's not like whenever the schools sit down and hand you a 16 to 15 to whatever year old piece of paper and says, hey, go give this to your dad or your mom and let them know, they owe us $300 to $600 in dues to be a part of the football game. Because that's what I went to a smaller school, so it was a little different. If you went to a bigger school, you might not have this problem. If you went to a bigger school, you probably had fundraisers. Because even when I was in a bigger school and I didn't have to pay dues, we did fundraisers, right? And that's a little more normal, right? You do, team building stuff. We used to sell cards. One time we sold drink packs. That was the craziest thing ever. I was logging around 6 packs of Dasani water and just handing them out around there. Crazy. Stick with candy bars. I promise you. You don't want to be lugging around drinks. But that's not the point. So you know that this is not that crazy of a thing. So for him to be suspended, that is what the onus has to be on, is the fact that Teddy Bridgewater found a way with his own money, with his own contract, right? And I know people think NFL players are rich, but I guarantee you a few seasons of that, not being an employee and not getting anything for it, I bet doing that for a few seasons it can knock into some NFL money. I guarantee you. $14,000 on a camp alone, I don't think that's not light, especially if you're not getting paid for it. So I want to read this because I kind of want to end on the fact that, look, this is the positive, right? As much as people are going to try to come and tear Teddy Bridgewater down or whatever they're trying to do over there, and y'all know how high school sports is, or just sports in general, it gets real. It's almost governmenty, high schooly. It gets cliquey. It gets politicky, dog. Like it gets real nasty. So let's read it. This is from December 14, 2024, man. Like 7 months ago, Teddy Bridgewater wins high school state title in his first season coaching his alma mater. Former NFL quarterback Teddy Bridgewater went back to his high school alma mater this season and won a state championship. Bridgewater is in his first season as coach at Miami Northwestern High, led the Bulls to a Florida Class 3A state title. The Bulls beat Jacksonville Reigns High 41-0 on Saturday in the championship game. Former NFL quarterback Teddy Bridgewater went back to high school alma mater this season. Okay, I already said that. In his first season. Is that the same thing? Okay, I'm sorry. I had that thing. But here's the little thing here. Yeah. Coach Two Gloves. Coach Teddy 2. Legend, man. He's a legend, man.
I knew they was gonna dump me with the cooler.
Something like
Defense win championship, man. They can't score, they can't win.
Yeah, feel me? Come on, man. I think it's 2. So they had 2A. So it's Class 2A state championship. Obviously, there's a lot of classes in Florida, but I guarantee you, there's high tier football being played at all levels. What's it called? And here's the killer. And now that I see that it's 2A, this is what I wanted to see. Again, I'm not sure how much y'all know about what's it called? High school sport. Some people, might not have been that big on it. Especially if you went to a big high school, you probably didn't get deeper into some of this craziness. But the smaller the A's, right? Obviously, the smaller the schools does not mean they're not as good. It means the politicking gets crazier, right? Because those small little, that's like, it's typically those private schools. It might be small schools. It might be whatever. So it's a whole different flavor. And Florida might do it a little different. So their technical small might be different from Georgia, where I'm at. Our 2As is like, super small. Theirs might be the same level as a 4A, right? It's a whole different situation. So there you go. It's a smaller school, it has a smaller classification that is ripe for them to run into a bunch of issues with people saying, hey, I don't think that school deserves to do what they do the way they do it. So to finish it off, it's great to be back on top, Bridgewater said after leading the Bulls to their 8th state championship. His team finished the season 12-2, outscoring its 5 playoff opponents by a combined score of 262-12. Bridgewater went to college at Louisville before playing in the NFL with 6 franchises over 9 seasons. He finished his career with 15,120 yards and 75 touchdown passes. Born and raised in Miami, Bridgewater started at quarterback for Miami Northwestern in 2008 to 2010, recording more than 5,000 passing yards and leading the Bulls to the state final as a sophomore. Not bad. He developed into one of the top dual-threat quarterbacks in the nation before going to have a successful college career at Louisville. Minnesota selected Bridgewater with a 32 pick in the 2014 NFL draft pick. If you ask me as a Texans fan back then, I wanted Teddy Bridgewater. I wanted Teddy Two Gloves on my team. And he spent 3 years there before a gruesome knee injury nearly ended his career. And obviously, his NFL career is a story in its own. But just to end this off, right, I hate to see this. The truth is that there are people who don't want this to continue. There's people who don't want Miami Northwestern, people that look like him, people with the same background as Teddy Bridgewater. They don't want them to be successful. And, I won't have to go into details about why they feel that way, but it makes people uncomfortable. When people try to do this and go above and beyond, it gets a little crazy. So the fact that he's asking what basically amounts to a fundraiser for you to personally, at your own will, give more access to these kids is absolutely crazy. He's using his mass reach, right, as an NFL player, which he probably would have got even more donations for, to try to have a better scenario for these kids, right, for these guys who just want to play football, hopefully get opportunities and take it to the next level. But some people just don't value kids. Some people want to put politics into it, and they don't care that there's a whole group of 100 and something kids who just tasted what it felt like to feel, like Teddy said, special, to feel like they deserve something, to feel like, hey, we them dudes, right? That small little ounce from an ex-NFL player, an ex-alma mater a player who I don't know if it's going to mean more to anybody more than him. People still want to see that taken down. So it's crazy to see, man. I really want to hear more from this. I hope Teddy Bridgewater is coaching again soon. Hey, maybe he has to step it up to the college level. Maybe Coach Prime gives him a college. Hey, yo! I need a wide receivers coach. I don't know, man. But you let me know down below how you feel in the comments. How do you feel about Teddy Two Gloves? Are you fond of Teddy? I wanted him drafted at Louisville. And then he was the reason Lamar went to Louisville. He's nothing but a beast in my eyes, man. So y'all let me know how you feel. Like the video if you like it. Dislike if you don't like it. Subscribe if you enjoy football content of all shapes, sizes, forms, and fashions. Continue to be great. because you are great. And we'll see you next time. Peace.